We are the Restaurant Brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We are deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the Restaurant Brokers. Our name says it all. You're back on the air with the Restaurant Brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon, and We Sell Restaurants. This week's show, we're focusing on YouTube chefs, those folks who are starring in their own channel online. Don't forget the We Sell Restaurants YouTube channel. You know it. It's youtube.com/We Sell Restaurants. Take a moment, check it out, and also follow us on Twitter. We're at Sell Restaurants. Now I want to get right back into this conversation. So we heard about Hilah and her starting out, Megan, when we just left the show, and sort of how she was working on a shoestring. So you had established a well-run business that had some resources. So did you have sort of a similar idea when you were going on to YouTube? Was it, just working by pennies, or did you have a more structured approach and more reserves when you started out on YouTube?
Our startup is similar to Hilah's. We didn't have, we had a business, but we didn't really know much about, videography. We didn't have a budget. Camera equipment and lighting is not cheap. And so my husband and I went to Home Depot, and we just had lights and some paper diffuser, and the lights really hardly projected anything. And I actually watched YouTube videos to learn how to improve my YouTube videos, which is why I love YouTube. I didn't even know how to use my camera. I didn't even know about white balancing. My first videos are completely blue or orange, and they're just bad. But we learned as we went, and we didn't have a lot of money to get started, but we did buy a camera, and that's one thing we invested in from the beginning. But similar to Hilah, the money that we would make from our channel, we would just invest right back in. And so then I bought one nice light, and then a little later I got another light, and we're just still slowly adding to our equipment. But we didn't have it all from the beginning, and I think it's good to not start with everything from the beginning, because you don't really know exactly what you need. And as you grow, you figure out what equipment you actually need, and you can talk with other people, and that way you don't just go spend a bunch of money. We didn't have the money to spend it, but you really figure out what you need as you grow your channel. But we started with hardly any money, but you just get started.
Love that.
I want to take the conversation a little different way here. We hear a lot about trends in the food industry, restaurants and chains and independents. Everybody follows different trends and everything. What inspired you guys? Do you guys follow restaurants, see what's out in a restaurant, try to make it at home? What influenced your shows and your way of cooking? And I know, Megan, you talk a lot about, a healthy lifestyle and healthy cooking. So I know that's a hot topic right now. Hilah, you're doing more of some classics, some Tex-Mex. So how do you guys drive your future shows and your future influence in your cooking shows? Hilah, you want to start us?
Sure. I get some inspiration from restaurants, and actually one of my favorite things to do is local food competitions, either just to go attend them, or I also get asked to judge them pretty often, and that's a really great place to see some, really innovative combinations, I think. And then reading, actually flipping through food magazines too, just to get ideas for flavor combinations that I hadn't thought of, and then think of ways to sort of simplify it for my audience who prefers stuff that they can make at home without having to go to a fancy specialty grocery store or anything like that, and fairly quickly too.
Good. And Megan, what about you?
As a background as a registered dietitian, our channel's focus is on healthy, but also really on plant-based foods. But we also, being Healthy Grocery Girl, like to make it very realistic and enjoyable for people. So everything doesn't have to be homemade. So we often show how to shop for, if you don't want to make homemade pasta, what are the best, boxed pastas to get that are actually still good for you, and how can you pair those with a lot of fresh whole foods? You get convenience and whole foods combined together so that it's realistic and easy, because I'm really busy and I don't have time to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I do recipe testing, but when it comes to cooking for me and my family, it has to be quick and realistic. So all the recipes that I share are actually the recipes that I make and that I enjoy and that I share with our audience. So a lot of times inspiration just comes from playing around in the kitchen, watching other YouTube videos, going online, looking at magazines. You can get inspiration from all over today because there's just so many places to get inspiration from. But we just really try to keep it fun and making nutrition really fun and entertaining and realistic and enjoyable for people.
So that kind of goes back to that authenticity piece as well, because if it's not flavors that you love and you're not kind of all in about whatever this is that you're cooking, the camera reads that automatically.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. So now that you guys have both done so well on YouTube, have you ever been approached to be on the cooking channel or any of the other traditional TV shows? And if you were, would you jump ship or not? And I'll take one at a time. Hilah, what about you?
I've been asked several times by different production companies who are pitching shows to networks, cooking shows. Most of them I haven't been that excited about. There's one that I actually am kind of excited about that we're talking to right now. I honestly don't know. I think it would have to be a really, really fun show idea. I don't think I would do a regular, standing in the kitchen and cooking type show on TV, because I can do that myself on YouTube and do it the way I want to do it.
No reinterpretation of Hilah as Rachel Ray, huh? Okay.
How about you, Megan?
One of my career aspirations is to have a cooking and talk show. And originally, since my background started in television, I thought, yep, TV is what I'm going to do. But then doing YouTube, I'm like, I don't know, maybe it'll be on YouTube as well. So I definitely want a more formal cooking talk style show at some point, but I'm very open to what that looks like, whether that goes through traditional television, whether that's online. There's so much now with Hulu and Netflix shows. I don't know exactly what that will look like, but that is a goal of mine. But I have no desire to ever leave YouTube. I may be doing stuff on YouTube and also on another show, but I always want to be able to continue to create content and offer that to my YouTube channel and subscribers, because I just love YouTube so much, and being able to just directly create content and put that right up for our audience. And I've been approached by different networks as well. And, again, it has to be authentic to you. And I just, similar to Hilah, some of the offers and opportunities just didn't make sense, or they weren't a right fit and they weren't the right timing. But things always happen for a reason, and the right timing, it'll all come together.
Well,
Wow.
You guys are so super smart and talented and have developed so many great followers. Yep. We are certain there's nothing but success.
And Megan, I will call Rachel Ray when she's ready to retire. I want to put a good word for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. That's all the time we have today. We have been talking with YouTube stars Megan Roosevelt from Healthy Grocery Girl. Make sure you check her out online. Hilah Johnson from Hilah Cooking. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon from We Sell Restaurants, the industry leader in restaurants for sale, franchise restaurant resales, and site location for the food service industry. We are franchising our brand nationwide. You can find more about us at WeSellRestaurants.com.